welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hat Show, obviously episode 304. And in this one, we're going to talk about our performance against Bradford. Was it our most complete performance of the season in terms of, best all round? Obviously, there's a lot of games up there. Well, not a lot, actually. I'm lying. There's a few games that are up there, but yeah, obviously, we'll get into our thoughts on this. And if we believe it was, then yeah, do let us know in the chat if you do feel it was. But yeah, Dad, how have you been since Saturday?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good.
You're good. And what else is like we said going into it, we like the early kickoffs if we win them anyway. We don't like them if we don't, because then you have to have a look at all the other results, which were actually quite some interesting results. I mean, in League One this weekend, Blackpool went 2-0 up against Huddersfield, and we, I said if they play anything like they did against us, they won't get anything. They did manage to obviously get a draw in the end. Real Walters got an assist as well. I did see it, a little cross into the box. Ethan Archer scored a free kick against Burton as well. Really good free kick in my opinion. And yeah, there was some interesting results really that makes you feel there is a slight possibility that the playoffs can still happen, despite us feeling, after the Huddersfield game, it's unlikely, to be honest. So obviously we'll get into all of that. Going into the comments, good to see you in here, Jackie. Says hello to both of us. More like the Palmer effect, yeah, we'll get into his performance individually, but big up to yourself, mate. Hope you're well. But yeah, going into the game itself. So in terms of the lineup going into this game, it was a 4-1-4-1, which obviously we did play against Blackpool. And yeah, it was Keeley in goal, as expected. Longwick, Anderson, Mengi, and Johnson. So the back four, most of us expected. We obviously expected it. Palmer in his own role, which obviously, we're getting to his performance, like I say, but I expected that anyway, especially with what come out with Walsh. And also how good he was against Blackpool. I thought he was really good against Blackpool as well, to be honest, especially in that first half. And then obviously we had Morris starting again, which was interesting. And then we had Kadar on the left, which again we said we'd go with. Clark and Richards, who I was actually going to do another formation, another lineup, shall I say. And I actually did have them too in that whole, that more attacking sort of role. And then Cole was up front by himself. A little bit surprised about that. I thought this would be the game we'd actually changed to up front, given, like we said previously, Cole's comments on the fact he don't really like one up front. So, yeah, I mean, that was interesting. And as for the bench, we had El Hamady, Jones, Naismith, Saville, Shea, Van den Berg was on the bench, and then Wells. So, I'm a little bit. I was a little bit surprised Cole started, like in terms of by himself. I thought if he'd started, it'd be with like Wells up front, but didn't mind it at all. I do feel he will be more beneficial as the season goes on in comparison to Wells. I have to be honest. But yeah, I mean, other than that, you can't really grumble at a lot of things. I mean, it's one of them which majority of them players we went with, Dad.
Yeah, it's good to see Richard starting as well. Morris, obviously holding down his place. Like I say, up front, just saying, it was mentioned that we might go a two at some point, but I don't think we will.
Do you know what I will say? I think it'll be, like when we play teams that have two up front to try and match them. Like for example, when Stockport, I know it's different, but they had three at the back, and then we went three at the back.
Yeah. But the only way we can do it really, because we're settled at the back pretty much now, aren't we? So I don't want to see three at the back. Is play, probably like a 4-4-2, isn't it? So maybe. Which degrades his performance a little bit because when you're isolated up front, even Haaland, if he doesn't score, he plays up. Well, they play three across the thing, but ultimately he's up front on his own, isn't he? And a lot of teams it just harms strikers a lot, I feel. But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah,
strong bench.
Yeah, we're starting to see a lot stronger benches now.
Yeah, and this, is showing that we got a lot of, do we put it? You know, the best players now who are going to fight for the rest of the season, kind of thing. Um, and it is a good squad, as we've said before. But there was just certain players that were sort of bringing the place down, basically, or not working hard enough, and things like that. And it was just continuing. So yeah, it's good to see, like, the players that we have signed. You know, recruitment gets a lot of criticism, but then there's quite a few players that we have signed who are actually, more than half. Do you know what I mean? A good percentage that are actually doing well. You know, Morris, Palmer,
Richards.
Kadoa, Richards. Do you know what I mean? Even Longvoigt, I'll rate him. You know, a lot of people not too impressed with him. I don't know. I think he's doing all right, and he's made that spot, albeit not his ideal position. He's the best that we got over Walters as well. So yeah, it was more settled, and they're I don't know, it just looked much more of a team now. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was obviously, a lot of us worried in terms of like our squad depth getting smaller because obviously, there was so many areas. Like for example, when we, when I last spoke to Mike, after the game, what was the game? It was the last game for the window, so it had been the Blackpool game. Now he was saying like he feels we probably get 3 or 4 in. Obviously, we only got 2, but then a large part of that, Wilshire's obviously come out and said, there's a lot of players that basically didn't want to be here. And you look at it and you feel, well, if we got a smaller squad, but then the players are determined to play for us, whether it's, not as many players, I'm fine with that. My worry is like the right back fit, I'm used to it now, so I'm not even going to comment on that. But I do worry if we get injuries in terms of centre back, because I feel there's not really a load of players there. In terms of like maybe, I might have to bring through a youngster really at this rate. So I don't really know who there is. Like, obviously, like Makoto was sort of a backup anyway under Wilshere, but like, obviously he's gone now. That's my only worry.
I could see, because there was that moment, wasn't there, where Mengi looked like he might come off.
And that happened in the last game as well.
And obviously we've got Naismith, but he's not, ideal. Yes, he's got experience, and maybe if we're doing all right, but it could be that Johnson ends up filling in the centre back role, and then we put either Naismith on the left, or we bring Fox.
Yeah, I was about to say, a lot of people said they'd like to see him come through.
Yes, it was only one game, but he looked real quality, didn't he, and confident. So yeah, be interesting that.
Yeah, a lot of people have said they'd rather see like the backup to Johnson because he's on like unreal form. They'd actually rather see it be him for now because obviously Bramwell's out. Otherwise, you probably would say Bramwell was that backup, even though we play him higher. But in terms of that left back role, but yeah, people are saying Fox. I mean, Fox has been involved a few times anyway, like in the cup games. Yeah, okay, it's only been the cup games really, but still, like they clearly see something there to continuously pick him. I mean, like I say, that Plymouth game, it's going to be interesting to see who we play. I do think we have to go strong. I've got to be honest. I know we've got a lot of big games in that period, but also with our squad there, I think we have to go a bit stronger than we have. But it'd be good to see like him, Evans on the bench and things like that again. But yeah, we'll see when the time comes for that. But yeah, in terms of the game, yeah, I mean, it wasn't too bad, in terms of the first half. We grew into it a bit later on in the half, I would say. And obviously, we had a chance before we scored. Clark hitting the woodwork, very unlucky. Like we said on the watch long, a lot of players in that position, they'll try and, cross it in. But Clark saw an opportunity, went for the shot, very unlucky. And then it's sort of a similar passage of play, really, I guess, after that, in terms of the build-up play for the goal. Richards, great finish. And he scored a couple of goals outside the box. Obviously, the Huddersfield game, I know it took a deflection, but still took on the effort. And it's good to see that he's bringing that element, and it was a good finish, and it was good build-up play. I thought Kadoa was really effective on the left, even though he was getting doubled up on at times in that game. He's still done really well. And it's one of them games, right, where a lot of players deserved to score that didn't score for me. I felt Kadoa deserved the goal. I felt Clark deserved the goal. I actually felt Cole deserved the goal as well, to be honest. And I've obviously, like I said on the watch on, I felt a bit sorry for him because for me, it doesn't matter who you've got up front. It could be Elijah, who a lot of people would probably think would be the best in terms of individually up front by himself. I still don't think ultimately it'll work. But obviously, we're scoring elsewhere, which is great, and they're still trying to be effective. And I felt Cole was trying to be effective. So, yeah, but the goal itself, it was good build up play, and there was a lot of good passages of play, and it was a really, really good performance. And yeah, I mean, really, really good. And it was probably inevitable after that Clark chance because it was a bit of a spell like it was against Blackpool in the second half, Dad.
Yeah, it was good, and the link up play is what obviously they've been working on. You've seen patches of it in other games.
This game, it really stood out.
Yeah, this was complete in that way, and we should have probably have won by more. Clark very unlucky not to score in this game. Like he just looks like at the moment, he's bang on form, and he looks like he's going to score in every game pretty much. So he got denied a few times in this game. That would have been a lovely goal. But yeah, the link up play again, like I say, very similar, quick, one touch passing, the movement as well is really, really good. And I felt as soon as he sort of got it that he was going to slide home anyway because I don't know, he's just got that ability. You can see it with him, like he's going to go to the top. A finish like that. Keeper had no chance. Bottom corner knew exactly what he was doing with it straight away. Great finish. And he's only just come back from injury. Other players take long, stuff like that, and he's just gone. No, he's obviously showing a lot of maturity as well when you hear him speak. And yeah, and he can play anywhere across the midfield as well, I believe. So yeah, great finish, and we deserve that.
Yeah, massive credit to him, coming back and doing what he's doing, because I also look at, and I said it with Johnson when we spoke about Johnson, individually, he's been out for so long, since pre-season, and he's come in and he's just made that left back role his own. Like you say, Richards, he can play anywhere across the midfield. He's obviously shown that throughout the season. More so better in the middle / the right than the left, I would say. But yeah, massive credit to him. He's still very, very young. But some of the stuff he does, it's like he's more experienced and he's been doing this for a long, long while. So yeah, I totally agree with you. Massive credit to him. But yeah, so obviously 1-0. They get 2 yellow cards in the first half as well. Tilt, who is an absolute tip, by the way. What was he doing with El Amadi at the end? He is a fucking knob. Yeah, let's just be real with it.
It was like that in the last game as well, man.
Yeah, you said it on the watch long. Yeah.
Fucking
Neuville, he was losing his head. He was trying too hard.
Like that in the last game, I remember.
Yeah, I mean, Neuville obviously got a yellow card. He was trying too hard for me. That was one of them where he sort of was frustrated. He sort of took it out. And yeah, I mean, he was trying to get on the ball. You could tell the crowd was rattling him a little bit. But yeah, he was trying too hard for me. But ultimately, forget about him. We done our job and we deserved it. Like you said, we should have probably scored more. Well, we definitely should have. I mean, going into that second half, obviously we did get the next goal. And I did say on the watch long, if we get the next goal, I think we'll go on to win. I know they say 2-0 is a dangerous lead, but with them 2 yellow cards they got as well, they'd have lost their heads. And there were stages where they did after the goal, Shaden Morris. Again, Richards, massive shout out to Richards in that goal. Winning the ball. Clark, rightfully so, passed it to Morris. Good little cut in from Morris. And like I said at the time, and like I said in the match reaction, that is definitely Morris's best game that he started. For sure that throughout this season. Obviously, I still believe he's better as an impact player. However, if he can have games like that, he should be starting. There's no question about that right now. So, yeah, brilliant finish from him. And again, he was another player that deserved the goal, wasn't he, Doug?
Yeah, 100%. He is a good finisher. He's proved that already this season. Lovely cutback. And again, like I said, Richards working hard to close them down. As soon as it latched onto Clark, bang, he was making the run. Possibly could have passed it you know, but he didn't really need to. You know, he's confident enough, and he's really enjoying his football with us. So yeah, um, great finish, and again deserved. The pitch looked pretty bad, but it didn't seem to play too bad. You know, when the balls were played across the floor in them, you know, sort of patchy areas, it didn't seem to bobble up and that too much. And listen, you know, pitches have been in a lot worse state than that over the years. Other clubs have got, you know, but because you hear the commentators saying, yeah, you know, but both teams are playing on it.
Exactly.
That's an excuse. It's like, you know, like when Roy Keane says, you know, moaning about sitting in traffic. You're part of the traffic, mate. You can't moan about it. So yeah, fully deserved. And again, we're just in total control. We looked like a much better team, right? And we should. This is what we should be looking like. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
so we spent money, and yeah, we have, but we've also had decent players in the building and getting better players in the building. You know, and they were a League Two team last season. Yes, they're doing well, you know, but we've beat a couple of teams, you know, up there.
Yeah.
So, you know, we can do it. And I'll see, you know, there's a video I saw someone put out earlier. I don't know if it was a Cardiff fan or a Bristol City fan or something like that, but Wilshere apparently said something about Cardiff. They're not better than us.
Oh yeah, I saw that yesterday. Yeah.
You know, about 20 points in front of us, you know, clearly over the season, consistently they're better than us. But I think, or what he's saying on paper, you know, the squads are quite comparable. If not, ours probably is better.
Yeah, everyone would have said that going into the
It just
season.
hasn't worked
Yeah.
out. But I've said to you, we can beat them. But you know, when you've been consistent and things like that over, especially at home, you just get the result.
And with how we've been away right now, we can't
And all
really
they
be
got to do
confident.
is you know go 1-2 nil up. I don't know. We'll see if the mentality is different. You know, it can be. You know, if we turn up and put it on them, there's no reason why we can't beat them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we just the way we looked like a better team, much better team. You know, and you know the season's business end of the season, so it just needs to keep going. And the home form's incredible at the moment, and that's good to see. And even the crowd are there, but not as you know we've heard it much more. You know, because there's still that slight edginess. You know,
Yeah.
but if we really keep on going and improve the away form, then you know it will just get even more livelier. But yeah, and then obviously they had a couple of chances, balls over the top.
Keeley made two massive saves
I mean,
in this
he had
game.
to run out. He didn't run out as much as he normally is. Just held his ground. I mean, it's a poor finish from their guy. Again, he played in the previous game and he was meant to be, you know, hyped up and all that. But again, he's similar to the guy we've got from Man City. Sometimes, do you know what I mean? Therefore, play too much Premier League 2 and all that, and bottle it. You know, so he should have probably have scored, but fair play to Keeley, stood his ground. Yeah, and then obviously
That other save he done, or the one on target, that was a good save.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I have seen it back. You know, it looked like it was going wide from Wheatley. I believe that was his first touch, but at the same time, and I still stand by what I said at the time. That's a massive save because if they get a goal, there's a bit of belief, you know, and like you say, that the crowd they'll be a bit nervy. Do you know what I mean? And then they can easily get back into the game because you know some of them players naturally know what's happened. You know, over the last 2 years or so. So that was a massive save. And yeah, he's been much better these games, Keeley, for me. And he obviously he's made good saves. You know, I've never got doubts that he won't make good saves. But it's been the coming out for me. But he hasn't done that for ages. And even when he has, it just looks like there's communication there. You know, and he deserved a clean sheet in this game. I mean, Humphrey's obviously come on and scored for them. I mean, I've got to be honest, I was surprised, and I said it at the time, I was surprised he didn't start him. He did score against us last time, and he has scored a few goals this season. I don't really know what their approach was, to be honest. It was a bit mad, to be honest. But either way, you know, he deserved a clean sheet, Keeley. The goal itself, I mean, it's unlucky, really. You know, to be honest, they probably would have got a free kick anyway. You know, if they said it was a handball from Johnson, I think it's a bit, you know, one
It was accidental. You know,
yeah, exactly. He was trying to battle
shoulder as well. It was just one of them. Bit unlucky, really. Good
Yeah,
feet.
he's trying to battle it.
And we should have scored just before that. Kadewere, like, obviously went on that little run, maybe, but I felt like he probably should have passed that to Morris though.
I felt Jones should have scored as well when he come on.
Busting run, yeah.
He had two
And,
big chances.
He was there. Probably should have passed it to him, and then obviously Palmer had that great shot, long Vic style, from outside the area as well. He got laid off too by, is it Richards? I think, I can't remember.
I can only remember the shot.
Yeah, ultimately, yeah. It should have been more. Yeah, it was a bit annoying to concede that goal right at the end, but to show you got to be switched on. I mean, Johnson was a bit unlucky again. The way the ball bounces, matey boy's strong, isn't he? Big and strong.
Yeah, he is.
It was right on him to the end. Do you know what I mean? Keeley did come out on there to try and close it down. Maybe if it had stayed on his line, but then he would have changed his angle of his shot and that. So it's just a bit frustrating. But I still know that it was too little, too late for them. We'd end up winning the game. So.
Yeah, I mean, they did have that corner right after that, didn't they? It was just a bit nervy. Thankfully, the shot went over. But yeah, I'd have been very annoyed if they scored out because they didn't deserve that at all. Let's just be real. They did not deserve that. And we deserved a clean sheet. There's a lot of games we've got clean sheets and you sort of look back at it and you go, oh shit, yeah, we did get a clean sheet in that. Like, how sort of thing? But this game, we definitely deserved like Keeley deserved it. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be. But even the defence, I thought the defence was really, really good in this game. I thought Anderson was what he's been like a lot throughout the season, but then he has the hit and miss moments, like the Huddersfield game. But he was good. Mengi was obviously good. Went down, come back up again. Johnson was obviously good, unlucky on the goal, like we say. And then Longwick, again, not his position, but he was all right. There was all right elements from him. So, I think he had a shot as well. It wasn't a great shot, but, he tried the Reading thing all over again. But, yeah, overall, they were good. And then, obviously, Casey Palmer. I mean, I thought he was immense, to be honest, in the Blackpool first half game. Like, just some of the stuff he was doing, and on that pitch as well. I mean, obviously, there's been, comparisons to Barkley. I think he's our championship version of Barkley. I think it's too good for League One. Said that the other day. Obviously, Barkley's like one of a kind sort of thing. But, yeah, Palmer is looking really good. And, again, you look at him and Barkley, they're more attacking midfielders, but they're coming in and doing their own sort of defensive role for us, as well as attacking. The turns are similar, the passes are similar, picking out the shot, things like that. So hopefully he can continue this. And I was happy when we signed him. Again, like I say, this is the lowest he's came in his career in terms of level. And he's doing really, really well. And also, it's similar to Shaden Morris for me in terms of being closer to home. That massively benefits and helps him. Obviously, you see him come out with his children and that as well. And that's good to see. So hopefully he can continue this. And hopefully, whether we do go up or not, which I still think we won't, unfortunately, we can get Palmer permanently. I think we got a high possibility of that, whether we go up or not, to be honest. So let's see. Let's see what happens with that. But yeah, let's go through some comments before we go on to the player ratings. Jackie says it's a really exciting game. Loved it. Yeah, it was definitely 100%. Good evening all, says Paul. Good evening, mate. Hope you're well. G1 says, hi, the players look more together and on it. Long may it continue. Yep, totally agree, mate. Yep, on the pitch as well, which, yeah, obviously weren't great. But again, that's out of our hands. We can't do anything about that. That was the weather, but we dealt with it. And Palmer, like I say, made it look too easy, really, on that pitch, really, given all that as well. Thought Newville tried really hard, showed us a bit of what we lost, but this team gives us hope back. Yeah, certainly gives us hope back. And yeah, I said that in a reaction. I said it just then. He was trying too hard, way too hard. So yeah. Battle of the midfielders on Saturday at Cardiff. Yeah, I mean, obviously we'll talk about that game more on Friday, but I've actually spoke to a few Cardiff fans. They're not actually feeling that confident, surprisingly. I mean, I'm a little bit surprised about that, but they have got a few attackers out, and that's what they were saying to me. They've got a few attackers out, which obviously, they're very influential for them. I don't know, man. I mean, like I said, we got a good record there, but with how we've been right now away from home, I can't be confident. But hopefully, this can be a spur on. And I mean, if we get anything out of that game, obviously, ideally, you need to try and win because of the playoff gap and all that. But if we can get like a draw, I'll take that. And then we have to beat Wigan. No excuses for me. I know they've just sacked their manager. Don't actually know who they're getting. I haven't seen any links. So, but yeah, obviously they've got a home game before that anyway, thankfully. Because I thought when I had a look the other day, I was thinking, oh, we're going to be their first home game, aren't we? But we're not, thankfully. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Palmer is excellent, says Jackie. Yep, totally agree. Totally agree with that. But yeah, moving on to the player ratings for this game. Keeley in goal, I'd say, very unlucky not to get a clean sheet for me. And made 2 massive saves in the game. So 7.5 for me.
Yeah, same. Totally agree. Got a yellow card for time wasting. Oh,
Time wasting.
Yeah, exactly. 7.5.
Yeah, I mean that. Do you know what that reminded me of when he got that card? Do you remember when Kaminsky got it against who was it, Portsmouth? And then obviously
that was in the first half, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's
Yeah.
what I mean. So like they're trying to say you're time wasting when he's not. So yeah, it was one of them. It was one of them. So yeah, that's Keeley's rating. Moving on to Longwick. I'll probably give him a 7, to be honest.
Yeah, same. Just neat and tidy. On his man when he needed to be. Helping the other defenders like he should be doing. But you know what I mean? Yeah, 7.
Yeah. Going through the other ratings, Jackie says, and they got a red card. Yeah, they did actually. Good shout.
That was
Yeah,
the midfielder, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, obviously, like I say, we'll get into it more on Friday. But what I will say quickly, so I was going to say it earlier when we was talking on this game. Obviously, last year when we beat them at that time in the season, it was crucial. It was a massive win. And then we didn't quite capitalise on it overall. But hopefully, if we were to get something, we can then capitalise on it this time. It is possible, but yeah, if we were better away, then I would be a bit more confident. But right now, I'm not. 7.5 says Paul. Longwick 7.5 as well. Jackie's gone Keeley 7.5. Moving on to we'll go over to Anderson. Again, I thought he was pretty solid. I've seen a few people give him man of the match, which is totally fair enough. I thought he was really good, airily showing his really good presence in that thing, like I say every time. And yeah, he was good. So I'll give him it's going to be quite a lot of high ratings, I've got to be honest. I'm going to give him an 8.
Yeah, I'll give him an 8. Winning his headers, his tackles, 99% of the time, just being sturdy on, just doing his job really well, and not making silly decisions. Yeah, looking neat and tidy, on the ball, looking to play the right pass, etc. No pissing around kind of thing. So yeah, I'll give him a 8.
Yeah, like he just needs to follow this up, because if he can follow this up, then you can sort of understand the hype Barnsley fans had. And don't get me wrong, a lot of times throughout this season, he's been really good. I thought at the start of the season, the first few games, he was good. Obviously scored in the second game of the season, but it's just them little moments for me, like Huddersfield away, for example. Just them little passes, like you say, them little passes. So if he can follow it up, then we've got a good player there. We've got a good player there if he can bring that presence in most games. Obviously, he's not going to be the level of this every game, but as long as he can still be at a decent level, no problems with that. So yeah, 7.5 for Keeley. Yeah, I said that. 7.5 for Longwick. Anderson 8. Anderson 7.5. Moving on to Mengi. I thought he was really good again. I'll give Mengi a 7.5 in this game.
Yeah, same. Clearances. He smacks it. He no nonsense. But he doesn't. He's not that player. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's better than that as well. But I'm not complaining that he does that.
I like that he does that.
He can play a long pass as well. He can win one-on-one generally, if and things like that. But yeah, he's settled. He knows he's here at least till the summer now. It'd be hard to keep hold of him. Well, if go up, probably keep him, but even then, possibly if certain teams come. But yeah, 7.5. Probably would have done. What else? He done decent enough anyway. Do you know what I mean?
And he went down.
Considering it, he was basically carrying, and he might even be rested for you. Don't know how bad that was, but he was quite strapped up, wasn't he? And still carried on. So yeah, 7.5.
Yeah, I mean it's a difficult one with Mengi. Like, if I had to say it now, I'll probably say it does go in the summer. I can see someone like Burnley coming in again. It's always been a team he's been linked with, isn't it? And then, like, even if we were to go up, they're high end championship. Well, you'd expect them to be anyway. So yeah, it's one of them. But as long as he can keep these performance levels going for the rest of the season, I've got no problem with that. Like I say, when he just gets it, I don't mind it, to be honest, because like sometimes, like not just us, like I see loads of teams they'll mess around at the back, and then I know it weren't directly at the back, but like the Huddersfield game, for example, where we concede a goal like that. If we don't concede that goal, we probably draw that game. So yeah, it's frustrating, but yeah, I don't mind that he does that, and yeah, I thought he was good again. Continuing, that's 2 games in a row now. He's went down, been nervy, but he's managed to continue. So yeah, my only thing is if he isn't available, well, not available, but if he is rested for the next game, I just don't know. I mean, Naismith, I guess it has to be, don't it? Really, that's my only thing, especially against Cardiff. You know what I mean? So
Well, there's something you can put Longwick in the centre, and then you'd put Jones, I guess, right back.
Yeah, probably would be, yeah.
Something like that.
I'll give him an 8 as well. Mengi 8, says Paul. Mengi 7.5. Moving on to Johnson. Again, I thought he was decent. I thought he was decent in this game. I would probably say he was better in the Blackpool game, but he was still decent in this game, so I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, give him 7. He's played a lot of football recently. Like, does he need a rest? Like I'm saying, that showed because it didn't. But sometimes you do need to give younger players. I forgot how young he actually is. Do you know what I mean?
19. Crazy, isn't it?
And at this level, we knew he'd be good at this level anyway. And it's the way he's confident in coming forward as well, and things like that, which is good. But yeah, I'll give him a 7 for this game.
Yep, there we go. Johnson 8. Johnson 8 as well, says Jackie. Moving on to Palmer, a man of the match for me. Man of the match for me. I'm going to say it already. I'll be honest, he was close to getting it last week for me against Blackpool, but I've got to give him it. I mean, that pitch, I'd say, wasn't obviously great. Again, not our fault, weather. But like some of the stuff he was doing in it, obviously had the shot, very unlucky not to score. Just influential in any break we made in that game, he was a part of it for me. And I know obviously there was just the first goal, and things like that where others are more so involved. But like, it's even going back to the Plymouth game. I know we lost it, but like even the first shot we had on target, that's from him going on a break, making things happen. And he breaking up the play. Again, it's not his natural position, but he can play there. And he's obviously showing that he can play there. So yeah, and that's the type of performance where he's showing that he is too good for this level for me, like I said after. So yeah, for me, I'm gonna give him a 8.5.
Yeah, 8.5. It was funny, like, because if you look at flash scores and that, they've given us 6.9.
6.7. Yeah.
Then he got a yellow card. So what? Do you know what I mean? The thing
and that's for getting stuck in. No problem.
On certain, has he created a goal scorer? Has he got an assist? Is he had a shot on target? And this kind of a lot of stats nonsense. Where some of it's, understandable, like especially defensively and up front and things. But he was all over the pitch. He was the link, and this is what we've been missing with the defender. This is why some of the defenders make it, because we're Anderson and Mengi playing it forward to Walsh. We know that doesn't work little bits, but you know what I mean.
It also nearly got exploited at Plymouth away.
Yeah, like, and not saying it will never happen with Farmer. Of course it might, but he was all over the pitch mopping it. Like, he enjoyed doing that.
Yeah,
and he can play anywhere across the midfield. I mean, I think on the right, when I saw him play for Coventry, that was where he was.
And Jamaica, he plays on the right.
His touch, his technique, his tackling as well. I didn't really see. I hadn't known about that. Do you know what I mean? But it's brilliant. So he was that link, and that helped us massively in this game. And yeah, so 100% man of the match, and he deserved the goal. And he ain't scored a lot of goals in his career, but he's already come close twice with us. It's only a matter of time at this level. So yeah, 100% gelled that team together. Like, if you can't see that, crazy. You know, and got shit. Who is this guy? You know, he's all his injury records. You do, you know, all negative stuff straight away. Um, you know, but I'd seen a bit of him before, seen the level he's played at, seen the teams that he's been at.
This
Um,
is the lowest he's dropped, like I say.
you know, and you know, he come on against us at Wembley. Actually, I think he got substituted though.
Yeah, he
Like,
did.
it's
Yeah,
for another reason. I think it's because someone got injured. Something like whatever. You know, he's a too good operator at this level, and he's showing that, and he's showing the fight, and that is what you want from a Luton midfielder in that position. And I ain't seen that for a long time. So yeah, 100% 8.5 man of the match.
yeah. And again, it goes back to what I said. I said it when we signed him, and I said it earlier. You know, also being closer to home. You know, like little things like that, they can spur a player on. You know, and I think that has been the case with him. Like having them moments, like I think he said it in his interview when he joined. You know, obviously he tried to get his kids like to watch him at Hull, but obviously it's difficult because you know they obviously got school and things like that, and how far it is. You know, now they can watch the games. You know, and he'll know that they're there. It's just them little things in your mind that spur you on.
Yeah.
They, you know, and yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's another reason I think we can get him permanently, whether we go up or not. I generally think we can because the thing with Hull as well is they've got players that are ahead of him. That's the only reason he's not at Hull.
Especially if they're doing all right as well.
They're doing really well.
Yeah.
You know, fair play to Hull. You know, the new manager, none of them had a clue who he was. I didn't myself. You know, and they're right up there. I know they lost the other day, but that's like a one-off. You know, predominantly they've been good throughout the season. So, you know, yeah, way too good for this level, like I say. Palmer 10 man of the match, says Paul. There you go. Love a 10 rating. Casey 9. Yeah, fair enough, Jackie. Moving on to, we'll go over to Shaden Morris. Obviously got the goal, which he deserved, like we said at the time. Good cutting. I'm glad Clark passed it because I just knew he'd do something there, and he did. So fair play to him. And like I say, that's definitely his best game that he started in. So I will give him a. Do you know what? He gets an 8 from me.
Yeah, same. You know, just looking live, looking that threat, looking like a real quality player. And I say, I think he just needs to get his fitness up, and that's part of the reason what you're saying is an impact player because that's what we was doing and he was being used as that. But you know, we're going to be pushing different. I'm sure we're better training facilities than the club he was at before, and things like that. So he just got pushing to get that fitness, and obviously it's showing. He doesn't look knackered when he's coming off, but he just works really, really hard. Do you know what I mean? As well. And that's what we're seeing, and that was the main thing in this game. We were going in for them second balls. We weren't just relying on we've got better technical players. It was a combination of everything, and that clicked. Yes, it was only 2-1, and we beat other teams 4-0, 3-0, etc. at home. But this, it just felt like a proper click moment. I have said it before with another game, but you know, considering that was when we still had hangers on, and you know, there was some that weren't quite sure where it was going and that, but the signings as well, and you know, Richards being back and the defense being settled. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'll give him an 8.
Yeah, like you compare this to like the Blackpool game, right? The first half, I just don't feel we've done enough. You know, whereas this game, pretty much the whole game, we were on it. You know, we were on it, literally on it, you know, until that little bit at the end. But other than that, there was like, what, a couple of minutes? You know, other than that, that was a top performance. Like, obviously, we've had better score lines, you know, the 2 home games, Leighton Orient and Wickham, Burton away. But like in terms of a complete performance, we deserved a clean sheet in this game for me. You know, we were good, and there is a few Bradford fans saying that. You know, what I've seen.
Well,
You know,
I've seen some Bradford saying, you know, also saying that, you know, clear they, you know, Luton were the much better team. They looked like they were a class above us, and you know, we've done well.
We done literally what they done to us in the reverse fixture.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, 8. Richards. I'll go on to Richards. Great finish, lovely goal. Look, makes things happen for such a young age as well. And this is where like some of these players are young. Yeah, they are. Now going back to what Naismith was saying, but you know, I think Cardiff's got younger squad than us.
Yeah, I do.
Maybe I don't know what older heads they've got. I know they've got a couple, but this is where we need like Clark to step up. The older guys to really step up.
Which Clark does every week.
Yeah. But Richards, I'll give him an 8 as well. I thought he was excellent.
Yeah, I mean, thinking of Clark,
he scored the first goal and kind of,
was involved in a lot. Yeah,
one really, just from his presence. Because I think when he first started, we saw him pre-season, didn't we? And we thought he looked a bit
Boreham Wood, yeah,
but a little bit in awe of the players and stuff. And then I think the first couple of games he was getting knocked off about a little bit, and then that from since then not at all. Like he's on it. Like he's he's not scared to go in for a tackle, not scared to take people on. Really, really, playing like you do at that age, I guess. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, 8.
Yeah, I mean, just quickly in terms of experience, Cardiff have got, I'd say definitely Chambers, obviously a centre back. Osho, let's not forget about that.
Oh yeah, Osho, yeah. Well, he made a lot of mistakes for us. And he is a good defender.
Yeah. He did good things, and then he'd do things you're like, what is he doing?
And he's been regular in their team, but I feel like we should try and target him a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a shame we don't have like Elijah back. Well, who knows? We might do. But right now we don't.
Got on the left, on the wing, the one that used to play for Arsenal years ago.
I
can't remember what his name is. Someone. No,
is it Tanner? No, it's not Tanner, is it?
No, he's all right as well.
He's the one who scored for Bristol City against us, wasn't it? When Shea went mental, I'm sure it was him. Where Shea swore. I'm pretty sure it's them.
Yeah.
The commentator was like, Tanner, and he was like, fuck's sake, or something like that.
But obviously, we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that quickly. But yeah, in terms of, so where you say Richards, I'll give him a 7.5 personally. And then other comments, Morris 8, says Paul, 8.5, says Jackie. Richards 8, Jackie's got 8.5. Moving on to Clark, I will give him a 7.5. Deserved the goal, like I said.
I'll give him an 8. I thought he was again part of that, that sort of combination, helping everyone else and so like I said, he looks banging form at the moment. It's quite an audacious effort, really, when he hit the bar. And that was going in. There was another one as well. Unlucky not to score. Link up play really good. In that position as well. Where he should be kind of, pushing forward. 8, captain as well. And that was bugging me because I still don't know when he come off who he gave the captain's armband to, because I couldn't see who was wearing it. And I'm sure the laws of the game state that you have to someone, it has to be shown, but I couldn't see who was wearing it. Bizarre, really, but yeah.
In terms of Clark, I mean, he scored that wonder goal last season against Cardiff, so hopefully he gets another goal. Obviously, I probably don't expect it to be that level, because that was just ridiculous. But you never know with Clark. You never know, and hopefully he does score, because he does deserve it. He definitely deserves, to have that for sure. Clark 8, says Paul. Jackie's got 8.5. And then moving on to Kadoa on that left-hand side, I thought he was decent. There was a few times their players were doubling up on him, so it's difficult, but he still managed at times to make things up, and obviously got the assist for the first goal. Was really effective in a lot of the build-up play as well in the game. And again, like Clark, deserved the goal for me. So, yeah, for him, I'll give him a 7.5.
Yeah, I'll give him 7.5. That's the problem. He's being marked out as the danger man for us.
So many times that's happened for us.
A lot recently, and he's getting kicked all over the gaff. You know what I mean? Like in the last few games, he's going down to 2-3 times. Where he's getting hurt and stuff. But still, working hard. Maybe and danger man, yeah. But the fact that Morris, that's another reason why I think we're starting Morris, because he's also of that ilk where he can just take anyone on. Maybe not as good, but decent enough. So it gives you other options. But yeah, 7.5. I just don't want to play him too much sometimes, but he is vital to us, and he obviously wants to be the top scorer. Anyway, he is. Continue that way, but probably should have laid it off for me to Morris to get his second, but it is what it is. But yeah, we obviously is a starter, isn't he? But we need to be looking after him a little bit as well. I think because I think if he got injured, that'd be a massive loss at the moment, especially with without Ali as well. Um, but yeah, 7.5.
Yeah, I mean the reason I think he'll continue to play, like obviously, like I say, top scorer, so we expect it. But another reason I think we will see him play regularly as well is because that left hand side, it doesn't really, like, no disrespect to no
Especially
one.
if Bramwell injured as well.
Yeah, it doesn't really fill you with hope. Do you know what I mean? That's why we put him there, because we know he can play there, as well. So yeah, I think if Bramwell was available, then yeah, we could see him rested like 1 or 2 games. Obviously not loads because he's a top scorer, like I say. But yeah, I think we will continue to see him start. Paul's gone 7.5. Moving on to Cole, I felt sorry for him. I do actually feel he deserved a goal, to be quite honest with you. His work rate was there, and yeah, I mean, it wasn't the worst debut, but again, it just goes back to what we say. Just whoever the one is, I just don't think it'll work. Ultimately, like they'll be good at building up and helping, but in terms of them actually being, the one who's going to get a lot of goals, I just can't see it. Whoever it is. So yeah, for me, I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, I'll give him 7. I thought he worked extremely hard. You can see he was getting a bit frustrated at times, but you know that's what it's like. It's his first game with all the lads as well. You know what I mean? So he's got to get to know how they play and where to be. But he worked hard, showed some lovely touches on the ball, and he's got that experience. It's only I just don't think it'll be long before he scores his first goal. Um, but yeah, I'll just give him 6.5. But when Wells come on, I thought, oh, maybe we're going to go 2 up front, but Wells
Yeah,
seemed to go on the right.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, and then Al Hamadi come on. I was like, surely, but obviously they took
Light for
Carlos.
light, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'll give him 6.5.
Yeah. Van den Berg, I thought he was decent. Decent little debut. There's a moment he nutmegged the player. He was just getting it out at points as well, which I like to see. And yeah, not too bad. To be honest, I'll give him a 7 as well.
Yeah, I thought so. Just look, you can see he's got that quality which has been talked about. He's patient. On the better players have that. I always say it, extra second or half second or split second on the ball because they know where they're going to pass it to, and they're ahead of other players. That's what makes them better, and you can see that he's got that. Again, first of all, we didn't really expect him to be involved at all, so he was on for a good 20 minutes. So yeah, I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, I mean, there was that slight thought of mine that he would maybe be on the bench, but he wouldn't come on. And he did. And yeah, like I say, he was decent. So yeah, other ratings, Cole 7, Jackie's gone 7 as well, Berg 7. Moving on to Jones, I've got to be honest, I feel he should have scored in this game. I mean, especially that first shot where he's put it wide, he's got to at least put that on target for me. And then the second chance he had was quite similar to Kadoa's, actually.
Yeah.
It's same sort of space. He's got to score that for me. I've got to be honest, but he was still, he was still getting involved, and he's a good player to bring on. He certainly is. So I will give him a 6.5 though, because I feel he should have scored.
Yeah, I'll give him the same. Energy's there. He would have been. He's got a lot of competition now, isn't he? Like at the moment on the right side, and we've put him on the left. But there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of good players there. Be interesting to see if we still got him in the summer. But yeah, he's still got a part to play. But and it's good to see him fit for this season. But yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, Paul's gone with the same. Jackie went with a 7 for Van den Berg. Moving on to Wells. Do you know what? He looked like he was on the right. So I'm not really, because of that, I'm just going to give him a 6.
Yeah, same. It's a bit bizarre, you know what I mean? And
it reminded me of when we put El Hamadi on the left against Forest Green, I think it was.
I think he was just there to try and, just not really go forward, but just, try and use his knowledge and his experience and just sort of close the game out on that side because we didn't have any other options. But yeah, I'll just give him a 6. I thought he might have been the captain, but no. So I don't know where this. armband disappear to? If anyone knows, if that clears up the mystery.
Yeah, I tried to ask people that were there, and they still they
Maybe it
didn't.
went to Savile and maybe it was tucked underneath the thing, but it
Yeah,
shouldn't be. Do you know what I mean?
no, you should wear it with pride, man. You should wear it
Well,
with pride. But yeah, 6.5 for Jones, says Paul. Jackie's also got the same. Wells 6.5, says Paul. And then moving on to Savile and El Hamady, I'll probably just give them both a 6.
Yeah.
What I will say of El Hamady though, like I feel sorry for him, man, because
He's doing bits when he comes on, isn't he?
yeah, but it's the Blackpool game. He was getting manhandled by their number 4, and in this game, obviously, there was clearly something said to him by Tit. Yeah, ain't Till.
And he got fouled as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he kept getting fouled. I feel sorry for him, man. I do feel sorry for him.
It's a matter of time. I think he's closer. We're just trying to ease him in. Maybe we'd go 2 up front against Cardiff. You never know. Just try and cause that a little bit more problems. You know what I mean? Because that's another thing away is scoring goals, man.
Yeah, and sometimes we're not even having shots on target till a certain amount of time.
I just can't. We need something else away. So I'll be tempted to start him. Is obviously then itching to get a goal or do something. Start him. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'll give him both a 6.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like in terms of the 2 up front, I definitely agree because there's so many games, where we won't even have a shot on target, or we won't until like the 70th minute. What was the Huddersfield game? 70th minute. Plymouth game was in the second half. You need some other.
And Cardiff keep it on they make it hard for you to get the ball. I mean, they've done that to us at our ground. Do you know what I mean? Even though it's just 1-0, but it was hard to,
Yeah. And I'm just checking quickly. Obviously, when we played them last season at Air Place, we did play 2 up front. Obviously, we played 3 at the back. Oh, there goes me. But yeah, we did play 2 up front, and it was obviously Elijah and Morris. None of them scored, but I do remember that game. They were getting on the ball quite a lot and making things happen, and that's what I'm saying. If you have me personally right now, I'd probably go Wells and Cole if I was to go with the 2. And we know Wells can be effective in terms of helping the play, and then Cole, it'd just be more beneficial for me. Like I say, nothing against El Hamady. I think he's definitely trying. But until he scores or gets an assist, I wouldn't start him until then, personally. That's just my opinion. But yeah, we played 2 up front there and it worked. It worked. So yeah, we got to change it away, man. We can't. I know it's Cardiff. I know they're top of the league, but we can't afford to have another one of them games where we don't have a shot on target, or we don't even have a shot on target until a certain amount of time in the second half. We need to really try and make something happen. And I feel 2 up front, whoever the 2 are, even if it is say El Hamady and Wells or El Hamady and Cole, I don't mind. I just think it's more beneficial for whoever it is. So yeah, we'll see. Jackie laughing at my comments. Oh mate, honestly, I saw it after. What a knob! What an absolute knob. Savile 6, Wilshere 9.5. Yeah, I mean, we can rate him if you want. I mean, it was one of them where he didn't obviously have to make early changes, because we were in a good position, and the changes he made, other than Wells on the right, I didn't really like. But other than that, didn't mind him at all. So yeah, it was good. It was good to see his passion. I'll probably rate his passion more at the end. That lovely picture of him at the end that's on the thumbnail for this. So yeah, I mean, yeah, decent from him there, and obviously Chris Powell again showing the limbs as well at the end. That was good to see as well. So yeah, but yeah, in terms of the who was your man of the match then? Actually, was it Palmer? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's 2 votes for him. His first 2 of the season. So yeah, and then as for the points, you know what I'm like, I'll probably forget. So the points were actually good this week for myself, me and Blitz. And shout out to Blitz, by the way, because he's got the last 2 games spot on. So he's actually gained 6 points. So yeah, me and him got his spot on. Everyone else got a point except Harry. Obviously, he's bottom of that. So he was a bit gutted with that. But yeah, in terms of the scores, so I'm on 19. You're on 11, Dad. Jackie, you're on 20. Rich is on 14. Paul, you're on 18. Stephen's on 16. Phil's on 9. Darth Vader's on 16, which, by the way, I should be seeing Darth Vader next week, actually. I need to give him a shirt. So yeah, and also there is that player thing they're doing where you meet the players. It's Bramall and El Hamady actually. So I'm going to probably just go to that to give him a shirt and also get another picture of Bramall putting his thumbs up. So yeah, that'd be good. But yeah, so yeah, Ben's on 15, Terry's on 9, Dave's on 10, Blitz is on 14. Chat GPT said 1-0 to us, so gained a point. Jamie's on 20, so joint top with Jackie. Harry's on 3, Lewis is on 8, and Ryan's on 5. So 8 out of points as it stands. Like I say every week, I hope by the time we get to the end of the season, it's not a joint top. Otherwise, that's going to be very annoying. So yeah, that's that. Go up there, shock him. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So like, if we have 2 up front, right? You know, it would just be more effective, even for the players behind, like it has been with the 1 up front. But you think that's even more firepower, you know, and like with how slow we've started away games, you know, let's be honest, like in terms of chances created, if you get early chance here, they probably won't even expect that. I'd be like, what's going on here? Yeah. So just for me, you got to change it, man. You got to change it. For the away games anyway. So yeah, I mean that's that really when it comes to that. But yeah, any final things that you want to say before we wrap up?
No, let's just see what happens. Because we got what you call an easier run after that.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But,
still some tough games, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and the game in hand, Doncaster. Obviously, but they've improved recently, and they'll be at home as well. So
exactly.
Yeah, we need to just keep game by game and see what happens.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Obviously, our next game is home game anyway. Is obviously Burton at home, which obviously we're both going to. I mean, that's not even going to be an easy game. I'm not going to underestimate them at all. I mean, Beasley, the striker we were linked, he got 12 goals this season. You know, the position they're in as well. That's pretty incredible. So we've got to watch out for him. Obviously, got to watch out for Shade. But obviously, I'll preview that near the time. And also, before I go, we'll be going to the Plymouth game as well, which is the game after Burton. So yeah, massive game. I want to try and, I want to hope we win that really. Because like I say, you've got 2 legs after that if we progress. And we don't want Plymouth to beat us for a 3rd time cleverly, fucking sausage. You know what I mean? Giving it a large. You can't have that again. So yeah, hopefully we can win that. And also, I'm sitting where I used to sit all the time for that game, so that should be pretty good actually. Me and Jamie are going to that one. So if anyone is going to that, you want to have a fan cam, then please do. Same with the Burton Albion game. And obviously Harry will be going to that as well. So obviously I'll catch up with him after. Mike as well. Like I say, Dad, me and you are going to that as well. Hopefully you can witness a win. Yeah. Like we said on the last one, it's been draws at the moment, unfortunately. So yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Like we say, we'll be back again on Friday to obviously preview the Cardiff game. And then, yeah, Saturday we'll have a watch along. And then obviously a match reaction from myself. And then obviously the Hut Show on Monday. And then we will have obviously the Wigan watch along. I forgot that's on Tuesday next week, isn't it? So we have the watch along to that as well. Match reaction. And then Friday, the Hut Show reacting to that. Preview the Burton game. And then Burton game, like I say, I'll be at. So yeah, or will be at, shall I say. So yeah, big up to everyone. That is the content coming up. So yeah, probably nothing now until Friday. Probably just be shorts out. So do check them out when they drop out. And yeah, whether you're watching live or on playback, don't forget to smash the like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. And yeah, sorry, quickly as well. Sorry, the quality was really bad for the mic fan cam the other day. I was actually going to re-upload it because me and David managed to sort it. But next time we know what to do. So we'll make sure the quality is better for that. But yeah, do check that out anyway if you haven't already. Do check out my reaction. Shout out to the new subscribers from that. And yeah, like we say, we'll be back in on Friday. So yeah, until then, take care and peace. Come on, Luton.